Everybody in life goes through tough things, right? No matter
Sure.
who you are. I think the longer
Of
you live,
course.
the more beat up we all get in various ways.
Yeah, yeah.
So I try to always pull out of guests like, what are some of those lessons that helped get you through? Like,
Mm.
what got you to this other side and this place in your life where you are feeling such gratitude
Yeah, that's
and
yeah, gratitude
appreciation for
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 sure.
where you are?
So I think there's so many ways to answer that question. Um, I think that, like I said, I feel like I'm lucky to be here. There was so many times where I feel like if it could have been any other day of the week, that would have been it. You know what I mean? But as far as my career goes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was an asshole back in the day and still can be. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of
No,
thought.
no, that's all right.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about being an asshole.
No, no, I
No,
know, I
I'm
know.
teasing you, I'm
I think
teasing you.
that's what kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
I try not to be an asshole. Oh, no, no, no. I know where I was going,
Okay,
and
okay,
I
great, great.
apologize.
No worries. Are you
So
kidding?
I started. I didn't see us talking about this stuff, but I started kind of like getting in my head, and this is after I met Kim, and I had 3 stepsons, and I have 2 daughters, and I kind of got overwhelmed, and I started getting. I don't know. I don't even really want to like get into this, but I don't even like give a fuck. Like, what the hell? Like, we all are human. Like, I was having like panic attacks,
Yeah.
and it was like it started to become hard to fly.
Mm.
It started to become hard to stay in another bed, and I would be like up all night, and it was really rough. And I think it kind of came to a head when I had my spinal fusion, and I was out for like a year and a half, and it was like, here's my identity. This is who I am. This is like the one thing I know that I'm good at, and I get respect for, and I can't do it anymore. And for like 6 months, I was under the impression that that was it until I met this amazing doctor, Dr. Cantor at Newport Beach, California. And he was able to perform the surgery on me so that I would be able to be an athlete again and not cut through any muscle. Whoops, not cut through any muscle. And so that, once you cut through muscle and that muscle stitched together, like there'll be like fatty infiltration into the tissue to where that muscle doesn't operate the same as it used to. It can get you by, but you're not going to
Sure.
be a pro wrestler or a pro athlete. During that time, that 6 months where I thought that that was it, like it was like such a, like I always, like when I was younger, I felt like so mentally strong and mentally tough and nothing could shake me. And like I got to like a dark place and I started to revert back to some of my old habits and I've got a wife and 5 kids. And luckily I was able to kind of nip it in the bud quick. She saw it happening. And I was put on some SSRIs and
I don't know what that is.
it's like a anti-depression,
Okay.
anti-anxiety medication. And I've actually been off of them for about 6 months and I feel like I'm myself again. But I
Oh,
needed them for a few years,
yeah.
Steph, because like I can't believe I'm talking about this. I didn't know if I could do this job anymore, even after I came back. I started to like my head was just going all it was like playing out all the scenarios, worst case. It was trying to go to bed at night and then not being able to lay down in bed because my mind would start going, and then all of a sudden I'd get like hot and I'd have to get out of bed, and then I'd be like, everyone's sleeping in the house, and I'm out like walking around our yard, just like taking deep breaths. And I met like an amazing doctor, uh, and she like gave me just pages and pages of information on how to deal with like panic attacks and
Hmm.
stuff. And I don't know that the medication ever worked, but it made me feel not myself. So
Right.
I didn't like the medication, but I kept taking it because I thought that, well, I need to take this because if I don't, I'm going to have panic attacks. Well, I was having them anyway, you know? And like it, honestly, it's been, gosh, what is it, June? It's like coming on 6 months since I've had a panic attack. And
Good
it's
for
funny.
you.
I thank you. But this is like shit people deal with and don't talk about, and maybe so it's like it's good to talk about or something. But
No, it's true.
I
It's
don't
very
know
true,
what this is going to
especially
do for the
someone
Randy Orton
seeing.
character on TV.
No,
You
I
don't
think,
have to worry about that.
but I also think there's someone that's listening to this who's
Yeah.
going through it, and they see this strong ass guy like you. You know, we're all human,
Yeah.
and so now that person hears it, and they're like, okay, thank you. You know, I'm
Right.
not alone in this, or it's
Yeah.
it's okay
Yeah.
to have
Yeah,
that.
it felt like I was alone in it. I had my wife, but I didn't talk to really anybody about it. I had a therapist I was talking to, and
Yeah.
she helped, but not that much.
Yeah.
And then Kim would help the most. And then I started to get back on the road after my fusion. And I've been back like a year and a half or so now, maybe a little more. So like I was still having
Yeah.
the issues.
And you didn't tell anybody.
So I told some of our medical, but I kept it real like, oh, this happens to me sometimes. It's not a big deal. I got it. But
Just so you know.
just so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm,
Just in
take, I'm,
case.
I'm taking this, I'm taking
Mm.
Lexapro and I'm taking Buciprone and this is why I'm taking it. And, is it weird that I'm taking it? And then I was reassured that like if you chat GPT it, it'll say like a certain percentage of Americans are on SSRIs. And like that's about the same when it comes to the people that our doctors work with, that I work with. So I didn't feel alone because I knew that there, even though I didn't know who they were,
Right.
right? I knew that there was other people back there doing what I'm doing, kind of going through the same thing, like just little steps, right? That made me feel better. But like when I finally got off the medication, it was funny because it's like, oh, I'm off the anti-anxiety medication and I'm not having panic attacks anymore. Like it really like it's like a weight off
Oh,
your
thank
yeah,
God. Good
yeah.
for you.
But there was times where mm, like I'd be with my kids or like my youngest, and I'm like going through kind of like I guess an episode or something. And I'm hiding it, you know. Um
You don't want her to see.
yeah, no, because I'm
You're a
dad.
big, strong dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like my dad is like the toughest guy I've ever known. And like now that I'm older and I understand things better, like I never saw him cry. I never saw him sell a thing. Toughest guy. And guys that worked with him back in the day, they just reconfirmed that notion that your dad is a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He could handle himself. And like that always made me feel, but then like, well, what's the deal with me? And like it just all kinds of like mental gymnastics to kind of get to where I am now. And I really feel like I'm in like a good place. And like, but it's kind of, I guess it's like kind of therapy to talk about it now. And knowing people will hear this is kind of what's hitting me now. But I wouldn't have talked about it while it was happening. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure.
Just like I was hiding it from my kids. And then my boys are older, 22, 20, and almost 16. Everybody's almost driving. It's crazy. 3 of the 5 kids have cars. My driveway's like a
I
car,
bet.
car dealership.
Garage,
Yeah, it's like it's always time to like renew plates or get an oil change or an emissions test. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. uh, but anyway, yeah. So enough of that. I just
do you,
you
do you,
yeah
I think a lot of people find themselves, and especially I think professional athletes or, very famous celebrities or entertainers, what have you, because you find your identity in what you do. But that's not who you are,
yeah no,
you
it's
know?
not. But man, we
But
really feel
man,
like
yeah,
that's 99% of it.
it's what you feel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think people struggle with that in very different ways, but I think it's very common,
Yeah. No,
however you
it is.
identify
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Sure.
And then when something happens that changes, that opportunity, it's
Yeah.
like, well, then who am I?
Yeah.
And it's a real struggle.
Well, I was just talking to Hunter yesterday about, I think I mentioned to him how, like, like our schedules gotten a lot more talent friendly. Um, I know that he wasn't at TV one week, and I, well, where is he? Oh, he's at Murphy softball. It was a
Over a softball game. Yeah.
very important
Yeah.
softball game.
Yeah.
I loved hearing that.
Yeah. It was the national championship.
National
Yeah.
championships.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was
NCAA.
important. I
It's all
wasn't sure. I
good.
didn't want to misspeak. But like just knowing that in the past, that never would have happened. And knowing that now it's okay, like it's almost like without even knowing it, without even like I just found out that he was at a softball game. No one else knows that, and but
Well, they
that's
do
like,
now.
well, they do now. But it's like even he don't even know it, but he's leading by example and saying like it's okay to say, hey, it's a month or two out. If there's any way, can I make this event to be there for my child? Because it's only going to happen once. And I don't think unless you're main event in some giant PLE, that you're going to get time off to go do that.
Yeah.
There's no question in my mind that if I say, Hunter, Bruce, Nick, whoever, I've got this thing and we're far enough out. It's not like next week or anything, but like it's very important to me and my family and my kids or whatever that I'm there. There's no question in my mind that they'll say, done. Like that is huge. That's that's huge.
Everything. What are some of those precious moments that you've been able to be at?
Oh gosh, graduations, birthdays. I mean, even July 4th, softball games, volleyball games. My youngest son started wrestling tournaments. He's
Really?
a three-sport kid. He plays football, he wrestles, might play basketball this winter, but then he's also does a few things on with track. So
Wow.
he goes. So that's a lot of like places I'm trying to be, and
Do you train him at all? No. All
he
right.
could probably he could probably train me.